Hello everybody, this is Toe to Toe and welcome to today's race. This is the car that we're going to be going in the touring car series. This is the one we usually go with. We got a fancy little livery on there, SP Tools. I thought that was pretty cool, it's nice and colorful. Now usually you would see me on camera, but I made a mistake and accidentally deleted said footage to make space for another recording. So unfortunately for you guys, you'll have to listen to me talk through some of this one, or actually probably most of this one. But thank you for joining me nonetheless. And here we are at Miami. I kind of went into this race on a whim, and after seeing our times compared to others in practice, I decided to do qualifying time, and that put me starting in third. So at about 4 minutes left of practice, I decided to record, and I set up everything real quick, and here we are. But before getting too much into this race, I'd just like to thank everybody that has subscribed so far, the 40 of you that are absolute heroes. I really do appreciate it. It means a lot to me. If we could get a few more of this video, that would be awesome. Try to get to 50 by the end of February, beginning of March. That's my goal as of right now. Getting back into the race here at Miami, we are chasing after the top two, and we've made a couple mistakes so far, and we kind of missed this braking zone, almost taking number 2 out. Just missed the tail end of them, thankfully. And the rest of the pack behind is slowly starting to creep up. We're right in between top 2 and pretty much the rest of the midfield. This last section is my strongest suit around Miami, so I'm going to make up as much space as I can as long as I remember how to drive. Up ahead is the chicane leading onto the straight, and I'm going to make up just a slight amount of time to the 2 ahead, and that also means that I'm slowly pulling away from the group behind as well, which I slowly start to realize is going to be my biggest goal, as the 2 will continue to pull away eventually, and I'm going to be left out in the air to dry, and the rest of the cars I'm going to have to defend against. But that excitement's going to come a little bit later, as we still only are on lap 2 and the 2 cars are in sight as well. So the hope is not quite faded from staying with the top 2 yet. The leader is only 2 seconds up the road, so at this point in the race, I feel like I still have plenty of time to catch up, as long as I can drive cleanly, that is. Coming down this straight, you'll have noticed that I am not very confident in where the braking zone is. I can see the markers there on the right, but I cannot make out what the numbers quite are, which is really what helps those 2 cars pull away consistently in each lap. Now you'll see number 2 is up to 2 seconds instead of number 1, so they are pulling away. And number 4 right now, he is maintained a pretty good distance, or consistent distance I should say, up to this point. Number 2 already making a gap almost up to 3 seconds, and this is our strongest part of the track, remember, and we didn't gain nearly any time to the guy in front, but we did make some space to number 4. Remember though, at some point he is going to end up pretty much right behind us, so make sure to keep an eye on his time as he creeps up. A little bit off note though, I have been doing a little bit of experimenting with posts on YouTube, so if you have missed the last couple races I've posted and you're interested in watching them with the actual camera angle of me driving, I'll have a couple of them linked in the description, so make sure to go check them out if you want to. But back into this race here, we'll see he's starting to actually creep up. The gap's no longer in 2 seconds. Well, I guess it is at a 2 second. But the leaders, however, are now up to 4 seconds up the road. So we really should go to this track and just kind of have some practice and get our consistent lap up, Practice is always a good idea before going into a race, so you really know where you're braking and where good overtake spots are and, racing stuff. You'll see Deadlift Bra has made a mistake there somewhere and has gained a 1.3 second penalty. So if we can find a pace, there is some luck for maybe gaining a position. But number 4 has made the gap now to 1.4, which is what we have noticed. And our mindset has kind of switched from pushing to try to get the leaders, and maybe that 1.3 second becoming something beneficial to us, to most likely having to defend here coming up pretty soon at the end of this lap and maybe into lap 5. But time will tell. I'm sure you guys are biting at the bits to find out. I know I was getting kind of nervous watching that gap come down pretty consistently and the gap ahead gaining quite consistently. So I knew I was gonna have to do something coming up. As you see in the rearview mirror, those two guys are fighting pretty hard. And one of them gains a 5-second penalty. That is a big one. Let's see if we can find this breaking point in here real quick. No, not bad. I think we were still a little early, but we made it happen. The gap has come down to a 1.2 to the car with the penalties as we hit the straight and we make our way to the strong part of the track for ourselves, and we're going to see if we can make up any time. Luckily, I thought I may have made a humongous mistake, but luckily I was saved by the marshals and they didn't see anything wrong with it. But this guy has quite the pace. As you see, the gap is down to half a second as we're going to go on to the last lap. I see now that defending is definitely going to have to happen on this last lap, as he's going to try to pull a move there, but we cut off the apex going into turn 2. Again, riding the apex as long as we can and into this section as well. No, he's right there, but we get a slightly better exit than him. I am kind of nervous of this guy too, because he does have that 5-second penalty after all, so I know he is going to be aggressive. Again, looking for a move even though it is not there. He makes contact, but we're going to keep going. Luckily for us, that kills his momentum. So that's going to save me coming down to the straight to my awkward braking zone, because he has a good pace, remember, so he knows exactly where he wants to brake. Well, I guess not, because he kind of cooked it into that one and we parked it on the apex just to make sure that he can't get through. He's only going to have a couple more chances to make something happen if he really wants it. So we're going to pull through our strongest section once again. The car behind made a huge mistake, and he actually tried aiming the car to try to take us out with him, but we were just far enough ahead he couldn't touch us. So we defended him off just enough to make him pressure himself into a mistake, and we crossed the line in 3rd place, right where we started. I hope you guys enjoyed this race. If you did, leave a like, comment, subscribe. I apologize once again for my newbie mistake of deleting the footage before I actually used it. And I hope to see you guys here on the channel again, and have the fantastic rest of your day. Thank you very much. Goodbye.